Okay, man, we had this guy in studio when he first got the job. He is awesome. He has taken Illinois back to the dance. People don't realize how much work he had to do to rebuild that infrastructure. The facilities there are second to none now. Yes. And Brad Underwood has got them a number 1 seed.
Yes, he had to win the championship because his Kansas City Chiefs couldn't pull it down, so he won it for them.
There you go. He took care of it. Take that, Brad. How are you?
Wow. We're throwing low blows right from the jump. I like it.
So
man, that's they win it a year ago. They can't go back to back, and man, we're going low early. I like it, Cap. I mean that's.
No, listen, Coach. Look, I thought that Mahomes was great. He had 200 yards going backwards, but he was great, though. He was great at the Super Bowl. I'm just telling you.
It just shows all that beef up front, man. You got to have it if you're going to win at the highest level.
So let's talk about your basketball team, because I said before the season that team can win the national title right now. And your team has had, like everyone else, deal with a global pandemic, the stops, the starts, and here you are, a number 1 seed. I think you should have gotten a co-share of the championship, but whatever. You won the tournament, and here you go. How do you feel with what you've accomplished so far?
It's been great. I think the one thing that I've come to appreciate is, one, how good our league is and how good the coaches are. Winning 19 games against Big Ten opponent, 13 quad 1 wins, which is more wins than most teams even played quad 1 games. It speaks to the volume of our league. And to see the growth in our team, I look back at and saw some of our Baylor game early, and I don't even recognize that team. And to see the growth and the character and the development, the maturity has been very, very rewarding. And I'm excited for our guys. Io came back, to be in this moment, in the NCAA tournament, and we're playing for a bigger ring. And I like our focus, and I like the way we're playing right now.
Coach, was there a game or a moment when you thought, my team has a shot to win this Big Ten championship?
I don't look at it that way. The best half we played was the first half against Iowa. Mm-hmm. We were as good offensively in that 10, 12 minutes. Now, both of them and Ohio State just scare the heck out of you because they're so gifted offensively. And but I don't know if there's been a specific time. I knew we were getting close. As our defensive numbers got better. One time, mid-year, we were 50th in defensive efficiency, and now I think we're 5th. And, you don't get to a Final Four. I think the average defensive efficiency rating in the last 10 years is 15 for Final Four teams. And so we had to make a jump there. We had to make a commitment. Our guys have done that, and that's really helped us.
So this is a difficult question. You have a team that you have constructed from the ground up. You have rebuilt everything about that program, and now you are a number 1 seed. So if at the end of the day you aren't cutting the nets down, how does Brad Underwood look at the season?
Oh, with tremendous success. I never put a Cap. You know me. I never put a timeline on the process. And the one thing that we've accomplished so much, I feel great about where our culture is. It's sustainability, and it's the ability to have guys that want to be around every day, that want to get better, want to improve. There's nights you may look up at the scoreboard and the other team has more points, but overall, I couldn't be happier with where everything is at. I'm pleased. We're getting our practice facility redone. State Farm was just year 3 or 4 of getting it redone. The infrastructure is in place. And I'll look back at this either way and just be tickled.
Illinois head coach Brad Underwood with us on Kap and J.Hood on ESPN 1000 and the ESPN Chicago app. Coach, I think a lot of us fans on the outside don't realize how challenging it's been for everyone across the college basketball landscape to try to keep the team together, trying to be able to go through COVID and empty arenas. How difficult has this been for you to try to keep everyone together?
Yeah, all of our players and our coaches deserve a ton of credit because, you really have to like each other. There's been no interaction. Our team doesn't interact with anybody that's been outside of our Tier 1 30-person group all year long. And they go to their apartments and they have to interact with each other. They have to play cards. They have to play video games with themselves. They can't do it with anybody else. Our freshmen have not been in a college classroom yet. It's just been very different. We've tried to make coming to practice fun and being in our practice facility fun, not a place they dread because they have to do it every day. And so it's made me a better coach, but those guys are to be commended because of their character. They enjoy each other. It's helped strengthen our bond, which is really cool to see.
As you look at a guy like Io, and you've got Kofi, who my son yesterday, for my birthday, can I have a Kofi jersey? So I don't know if they sell Kofi jerseys, but that guy has become this cult figure. They're calling him Shaquille O'Neal over the weekend from Clark Kellogg and Grant Hill. Mm-hmm. What is it like having a guy like Io and then this raw prospect in Kofi who have blended together into this unstoppable duo?
Well, I think it's been really fun because, I look at Io and somebody showed me a picture of he and I standing side by side his freshman year, and this was before the season started. And you look at his maturity. He's added 30 pounds. He's grown. He's a completely different young man now than he was when he got here. Kofi's the same thing, except magnify that by 10, just because of his inexperience playing the game. And he's just a sponge. He just wants information. He wants to be coached so hard, challenged. He's a guy that, every opponent he plays, he's learning something from the Luka Garzas that he plays. Or last year might have been the Teskis and whoever. He takes that information and he's able to apply it and put it into his game and learn it. And that's just fun to see. And now you've got both of those guys, great friends, great teammates, and they're both blossoming, and it's really, really a big part of our success.
Coach, I've done my research here. Are you sure Curbello's a freshman? You sure we haven't seen him before? I mean, when we see a young player like that, and I was telling Cap earlier today, you can see that he loves the game. He's rebounding. He's all over the floor. There's a smile on his face. There's an enjoyment there. I mean, how do you look at Curbello versus other freshmen that you've recruited? Because some freshmen come in, I'm sure they think, wow, this is big. But for Curbello, he plays like a upperclassman.
Well, I think that's one of the great advantages that kids like him have. He played in the FIFA World Games. He's been on the world stage. As a 17-year-old, he was named one of the top 5 players in the 19 and under championships. He's always played against older people. It's all they do. That's all he's done his entire life in Puerto Rico till he came to the States. And he's a basketball savant. You should see his scouting report for every opponent. He's just taking all kinds of notes. He's already to a point where I ask him, "What do you like? What do you feel comfortable with?" Because he sees the game that way. And most people's minds aren't that way till they're 25, 26 years old in terms of understanding the game. He's really unique that way. And but he has a ton of charisma, and he's an alpha. He's got he's not afraid of the moment, and that's a very rare type young man.
Before we let you go, so as you get ready for this whole process, take us inside what you have to do now. You guys have to quarantine, I would imagine, for a few days. And I know the Big Ten was a leader in testing you guys every single day, all the Tier 1 personnel. So what is this week like as you try to get a team ready to win a championship in a pandemic?
Yeah, it's very different. There's no doubt. We obviously stayed here in Indy. We tested last night about 10:30 with the NCAA. We've been doing the Big Ten testing, but we tested with the NCAA. We're quarantined in our rooms, and we're all on one floor of our hotel. I just had breakfast brought to my door. So we're stuck up here. Then we'll have a second test today. We won't practice today, for obvious reasons. We're in the hotel. They've set up the convention center with 12 or 13 courts. You'll get practice times in there. It's a walk, across the street basically, and that's where you're at. And there's we brought Peloton bikes. We've got gaming systems. We actually bought a portable basket, so that's in our meeting room, so we could go in there and shoot free throws. We've got Nerf footballs, just where our guys can stay together in a meeting room. We get all these, monitors that if we're too close to somebody for too long, it'll start beeping at us. So it is very different, and you're not. Usually, you in Final Four, Cap, you see everybody and milling around, and it's fun and vibrant. It's quite a bit different. We're going to be in a hotel and indoors a great deal of the time.
So you're basically locked in watching tape and maybe a little Netflix today, and that's it.
That's it. We'll start on Drexel here, and when I'm done with you, and then you get one game at a time, and maybe a little Netflix. Find out what you recommend. Something you on a good show on Netflix that I need to jump on.
There's a few different things out there that I highly recommend. Schitt's Creek is a great show. Awesome. Meller, you got a better show for him?
No, but you can't say that on the radio.
It's a TV
Even when
show.
You got the coach of a number one seed, you cannot say that word on the radio.
You guys got a better recommendation for him? Give him a show. Guy needs to relax a little, right? Got this long grind ahead.
Yellowstone. Yellowstone's a good watch.
Awesome. Well, I've seen that one. I tell you what, I think I'm gonna start rewatching. I think I'm gonna go back to Peaky Blinders and rewatch that again.
Great show.
Absolutely one of the best. It's one of my favorites.
Well,
so I may do that just for sheer enjoyment.
We are rooting for you. We will be bothering you each round because we're all in, man. Want to see you win a championship.
Thanks, Cap. I appreciate you guys, man. You guys are the best.
You too. Have a great day. We'll talk to you again.
Thank you.
There he is. That's Brad Underwood, head coach of the